and welcome back to the Crossing Kin Garage. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Randy. We want to welcome you to another edition of Crossing Kin, a very special one. We've skipped music for some reason in the last several weeks, and it is one of our intense passions. So, for today, and today only, just music today.
In honor of the date that we hope this will be releasing, which will be Groundhog's Day, we are doing a tribute to time. Songs with time as their focal point.
We know you've already started thinking of a list of your own, so that's okay. You may or may not agree with our ranking of all of these, but make your own. It's a fun process. Realistically, there are a whole lot more songs that even have time in the listing or are about time than what you might imagine.
We are going to do this a little bit different than most people do a countdown. We are going to do a top 12 in honor of the numbers on the clock. So, one song for each number on the clock. And I get to start. So, my number 12 is Time Warp from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, sung by Richard O'Brien and Little Nell and one other artist who I cannot place. I'm sorry. This song is probably the most well-known from that film. I have not seen it. Don't really want to, but it's one of those that I've always been a little bit curious about. The song in and of itself is a dance. It's just a jump to the left.
Well, in fact, one of the times when I was in college, we were at Rice University. The Razorbacks took a pep band to Rice University, and the band did the Time Warp as part of their halftime show. Those of you who are watching, who were with me on that trip, you probably remember. And it was a smash. It was absolutely fantastic. Kudos to the Rice Band.
Leave a like and a comment if you were with Dad on that particular band trip. But yeah, it's probably one of the most fun songs. It's got the easiest dance moves, and it's just fun. It's a great song.
Back in the 80s,
do the Time Warp again.
The movie, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, was the #1 midnight movie. Complete with accessorizing, and use your own imagination, or if you happen to be there, just remember, don't replicate.
Yeah, just be nostalgic, don't replicate. But yeah, Time Warp. It's a great little song. A lot of it makes zero sense, but you know what? Sometimes you like a good nonsense song.
It makes sense in context of the movie, but again, we don't necessarily recommend the film.
But yeah, that's my number 12.
For number 11 for me is the Alan Parsons Project classic song, Time. I had a friend when this song came out, first of all, she was like, I really just don't understand this song. All it goes is, time. And I'm like, okay, well, alright, it's Alan Parsons, so get to Sirius or Eye in the Sky, and everything will make sense to you. However, this song came out on an earlier album than the Eye in the Sky or Sirius, which the Chicago Bulls used as their entrance. This came out in April of 1981 as a single, and it's off of the Turn of a Friendly Card album by the Alan Parsons Project. A hit back in 1981. Absolutely solidified Alan Parsons as he went into that Eye in the Sky album that was coming up following this one.
All right. Number 10. Good Time by Owl City featuring Carly Rae Jepsen. This released June 26, 2012. It was written by Adam Young of Owl City with Matt Thiessen of Reliant K fame.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's a great song. It's so much fun. Like a lot of my songs, they're just fun.
It's just a good time.
It's just a good time. It's a good time with this song. The vocals, this was the first song I actually heard with Carly Rae Jepsen, and it is the only reason that I kind of like her as an artist.
Otherwise, she's pretty annoying. Personal opinion. Leave comments if you must.
Defend Carly Rae Jepsen to Dad in the comments below.
No defense.
But also Owl City, they're actually a really good group. I think Adam Young is the front man. I think he's pretty much the only band member.
Correct.
But he is a fantastic musician. Every time I hear one of the songs that's credited to Owl City, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm vibing with this. So yeah, Good Time, Owl City.
Look up Owl City's discography. You'll see that it's pretty diverse in its musical genre. In fact, they've even Mr. Young's even done a Christian contemporary album.
All right.
Number 9.
9.
9, thank you. Back in Time by Huey Lewis and the News. This song was written for the Back to the Future soundtrack, which we happen to have done as a Crossing Kids episode. It was our very first recasted episode.
Check out one of the cards in the corners.
Check out the cards in the corners. Okay, so it was written by Huey Lewis and the News on the Back to the Future soundtrack. July 8th of 1985 is when it was released. Robert Zemeckis approached Huey Lewis with the idea of doing a good part of the soundtrack, at least contributing a couple of songs. And Huey was hesitant at first because he didn't want to get pigeonholed into a soundtrack's theme. He then went and read the script and came back with Back in Time and The Power of Love, which was the number 1 smash that he had from the Back to the Future soundtrack.
All right, number 8. No Time to Die by Billie Eilish. This is the theme song from the most recent James Bond movie. It was released October 1st of 2020 and was written by Billie and her brother Phineas. This song, I have a weird relationship with all of the songs from the Daniel Craig Bond films because the songs are always better than the movies, with the exception of maybe Skyfall. So I didn't come to this song with high expectations, but then I heard all the trumpet licks that are the Bond theme, the ba-da, and then the brum.
They did a really good job of bringing in the mixing. Nuances. Yeah.
This is probably of all the Daniel Craig Bond movies. This song is probably my 3rd favorite. And yeah, no Time to Die, number 8. I think it's a fantastic song. Billie Eilish, I hadn't really heard anything from her before I heard this song, and she actually has very impressive vocal chops.
Mm-hmm. And she follows in a long line of songstress who have done Bond themes. In fact, it's just almost a royalty of ladies who have done incredible things to the Bond movies. If you get a chance, go back and check all of those out. There's 26 now Bond themes. All of them, each and every one of them, have their own nuance, but they're all pretty spectacular. We're Bond fans. So, again, comments below. Number 7, thank you. Mm-hmm. Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Now, this came off the Girls Just Want to Have Fun album, She's So Unusual. And the song kind of got eclipsed as it was later released as a single. It came out in January 27th of 1984. An incredible year for music. That means in 2 years it's going to be 40 years old. Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Cyndi Lauper, incredible songwriter, very gifted. In my opinion, unfortunately, she's just known for Girls Just Want to Have Fun. A good song, but it never ever reaches some of the depth of the songwriting skills that Cyndi has. Is, as an example, Time After Time. Phenomenal song.
If you want to hear a pretty good cover of it, check out the Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist version of this song. It is a very cute duet by the 2 leads of that show. I believe it was part of their Christmas special finale thing that premiered on the Roku streaming service.
Awesome.
So, all right, number 6, Closing Time by Semisonic, released March 10th, 1998, from the album Feelin' Strangely Fine. It was written by Dan Wilson, and despite what the lyrics imply, closing time at a bar, it was actually in his anticipation of being a dad for the first time.
Awesome.
So it's just one of those nice, chill songs, and it makes you feel nice. It's one of those songs that just makes you feel nice.
It's one of those songs that I bought the entire album just to
for
get that
song.
We heard it at the store that I was managing, and I was like, we should play this instead of Happy Trails. Sorry, Hastings Land, but Closing Time actually would be a great updated closing song for any of you retailers out there who happen to be entertainment retailers, and you just need something to let your customers know it's time to go.
Closing time.
Fantastic song.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah, that pretty well sums it up. Pretty well sums it up.
All right, number 5.
Number 5 is from Asia, not the country, or continent rather, but the band Asia, another 80s. I think you'll probably see a trend here developing. A lot of mine are really, really old school songs. Kristen's are bringing us more into the
Modern day.
But they're all classic songs, incredibly good songs. Mine is Only Time Will Tell from Asia. Released July of 1982 from their self-titled album, Asia. Incredible record. If you want to go back and really hear the sound of the 80s, this album that came out August 6th of, July of 1982 is quintessential 80s rock and roll. I wouldn't call it pop because it's borderline on progressive rock, and Asia had been, an amalgamation of several prog rock bands. You guys that are fans of that genre, incredible musicians who are still touring today. I think they've got like 45 albums and 33 of them are live albums. So it's a band that you need to go check out. Also, on the August 6th of 2013 edition of Tuesday's Musical Notes, the blog that I write, Only Time Will Tell was the featured song. So if you want more about the song, go check out the blog, Tuesday's Musical Notes, searched in called Asia.
All right. Number 4, Right Place, Wrong Time by Dr. John.
Also one from my era.
Released
I've
April
raised you right.
1st, 1973.
73, I was in
and
3rd
written
grade.
by Dr. John himself under the name Matt Rebenak. I'm not sure if that was his real name or just one of the many pseudonyms that Dr. John used. For full disclosure, I did not hear this chilling out in the Crossing Kin garage with Daddy. I heard it on the wonderful Matthew McConaughey movie, Sahara. This movie has a phenomenal soundtrack.
Yes.
And Right Place, Wrong Time starts you off right with this soundtrack. For a while, it was the 10th biggest box office bomb. I think a few movies have come out in recent years to keep it off of that top 10 list, but needless to say, Sahara is an underrated classic, which we will talk about in another video. We love it. But Right Place, Wrong Time, it sets the tone beautifully for this movie, and it's fabulous.
If you're a fan of the movie, you realize that Dirk Pitt, the protagonist in the film, played by Matthew McConaughey, is a hero from the Clive Cussler novels of just forever. There are a ton of Dirk Pitt novels. Go check out Clive Cussler. I'm currently reading through those just for fun. I think I'm on the 3rd Dirk Pitt novel right now. All of which could be made into movies equally as good as Sahara. Mr. McConaughey, challenge.
We want you to come back and be Dirk Pitt because you were perfectly cast.
Absolutely.
Number
3, another classic song by a classic band who is still putting out albums. Their latest is called Mission to Mars, and that's the band Styx. The song Too Much Time on My Hands. Okay?
Too much time on my hands.
They got it. March 1981 is when this was released, and it came out on the Paradise Theater album. This album was one that actually solidified Styx as the 80s rock icons. That catapulted them into the 80s and led them all the way through that decade. Too Much Time on My Hands by Styx. That's number 3.
All right, number 2, Timeless by Home Free, released September 22nd, 2017. It is the title track of their album, Timeless, which was the first album they released with new band member Adam Chance after their original tenor baritone Chris Rupp left to pursue solo projects. Just the music video for this song, which, by the way, we will link music videos to all of these songs in the description down below so that you guys can listen to our top 12. The music video for this song is so sweet, but the song itself, it has like this twinge of nostalgia in it. It has mentions to listening to 45 vinyl records, Jimmy Page on a Gibson guitar, and other stuff that you would probably find more like in a small town, like cruising in a truck or going on a date with the homecoming queen, stuff like that. And guys, this whole song is done a cappella. No instruments. Every last thing you hear comes from their mouths. Their beatboxer basically swallowed a drum kit and now is just a drum kit personified. So, yeah, it is incredible. I cannot express how much I love Home Free. We're going to talk about them pretty much every time we discuss music if I can find a way to do it.
And for those of you in the Arkansas area, central Arkansas area, Home Free will be in concert at the Robinson Auditorium
March 2nd.
March 2nd of this year. Get your tickets now. An incredible concert. Everybody has heard about Pentatonics. Hey, kudos to their national anthem. Good job, Pentatonics.
Well done.
Home Free was also a sing-off winner, but they kind of got in the shadow of the Pentatonics success. And they're a little bit more folksy, country rock kind of covers and original songs. Check those guys out. They're incredibly gifted, and their music's fun.
Their most recent album, So Long Dixie, is available on iTunes and other music streaming platforms.
I would imagine on vinyl, too.
Maybe. Now, number 1.
Does anybody really know what time it is? By Chicago. This is the all-time favorite band of yours truly and Crossing Kin Entertainment. There is no other band other than Chicago. They have been around since the mid to late 60s and are still continuing to tour, as well as put out albums. They've just released an album last year, in fact, that's a good album. It's not as great as some of their, like Chicago 16, a whole other episode on Chicago at a later date. Anybody know what time it is? Does anybody really know what time it is? Came out October of 1970, and it's on the Chicago Transit Authority album. Their debut album, which was a double album. It was the first of 3 double albums, and their 4th album was a 4-album set. These guys really just didn't want to have, they had so much music that, and all the albums went gold. Some of them went platinum. Incredibly gifted artist. If you like some of the music that is out there today, it is certainly throwbacks to what Chicago was doing back in the 60s.
It's a rock band with horns.
Rock band.
What do you need?
What else do you need? Hello, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Hello, all these other guys that are out there trying to do that. Good rock bands out there that do it, but nobody to the level that Chicago, in my opinion, again, comments below, happen to do. So, Chicago, does anybody really know what time it is? Incredible song, part of their first album, and part of a suite.
All right. That's it, guys. Our top 12 time songs.
We thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today, and we hope that you don't have a Groundhog Day like Bill Murray did.
Be sure to leave your comments down below, give us a like, subscribe, and hey, if you want to give us ideas for future videos or just want to give us some feedback on this one, please email us. Our email address is down below.
Don't forget to ring that notification bell and check out the other Crossing Kin Production Tuesdays Musical Notes, the blog. You can find it at tuesdaysmusicalnotes.blogspot.com every guest Tuesday. That's right.
We're going to try to get ourselves into a more regular release schedule. We're going to start with an every other week release starting with this video. So check back here again in 2 weeks for our next upload. Until next time, I'm Kristen.
I'm Randy. Welcome to the Crossing Kin Garage, and we thank you for joining us.
Bye!
Later.